Okay, the Board of Commissioners back in regular session, and no decision was made in the executive session. Okay.
And did you guys discuss the fall meeting?
Yes, I got the.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the plan was. I was
don't
going to
know.
do.
I know Terry can't go, but
Yeah, I'm going to be in Wichita.
I didn't know about the other two. I was going to give an RSVP.
for
It's
that,
at the Oberlin meeting,
September the 5th.
September 5th. See, it's always in October. Well, then that's the same time as the KEC. They bumped it up and they're shuffling it around. So this may be a regular September meeting, but
When do we have to know?
September 24th or September 28th, one of the two. 28th, I think.
Before the next meeting then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the reason I thought.
I think I'm gonna be in South Dakota, but I ain't sure all that stuff.
Okay.
I know I'm going.
You know you're gone. Okay.
I'll go.
What's that?
I'll go.
Okay, I'll get our reservations in there. Okay. All right, thank you.
Candy, I think we're ready for you.
Do you want me to set up at the table?
Oh, sure.
I don't need to.
Oh, I know.
Really, but
Oh.
okay. It's like the hot seat. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So the reason that I asked to come was I wanted to talk to you guys about, we got a grant at the hospital to work with low-income families to help them be healthier. So it's a 3.5-year grant. And so that's kind of, we're working on, there's a lot of resources available to them, and how do we help them not just stay in poverty, but to be able to thrive out of poverty. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that. If you get irritated with me, kind of, we need a job list, we need this, we need that, because sometimes it's really hard to, when you're in the low-income situation, to access resources or know what's available in our rural communities. So that's kind of my job. Their focus was food access and then mental health resources. So those are the things for this year, what we're working on, is to be healthier. And yeah, so that was my original reason in contacting Terry. And so then that developed into whatever you guys want to discuss.
We just had a discussion about the shrinking room we have in the courthouse. Now, I'm not saying we're looking to change or move or anything else. Mm-hmm. It was just part of the discussion that, the county attorney moved back in downstairs, and so then our maintenance people had to find a cubby hole. But I think for now
it seems good, right?
yeah. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Every year we discuss this, and I get a little frustrated that that we're always on the chopping block. And we've asked. I mean, you said let's put it in the paper. Let's ask again if we could locate it somewhere else. And Tim Burr said, the city and the county have other buildings. We don't have to be here. This is just where it's been for the last 40 years. As far back as I can trace, and I don't know what a better option would be. This works fairly well, and it's secure for the volunteers. We don't ask for any other support. We raise our own money. We get our own grants. We just did a renovation 9 months ago, and I asked at that point, are we going to get kicked out? And no, it's fine, and not kicked out, but I feel like once a year we have this issue of should we be here, should we not? And I just would like somehow to put that to rest at some point. And I think putting it out to the community to think differently. How are we going to do this? Sherman County is actually looking at doing a whole building for their Genesis and then their resources for low-income families. Now, granted, their poverty rate is 19%, and so ours is about 10%. So, but our families are working. Like 90% of them are working, just cannot make ends meet because our jobs are low income. They make. One of my families makes $1,000 a month. Their rent is $550. And they have five people in their family. So you're looking at $450. You could, then there's no daycare. We have a lot of things that really keep them from being successful. The other thing that we keep working on is, now that we've keep growing our food access, Walmart and our local grocery store is donating their food waste. So I know that sounds bad, but just because there's an expiration date on it means they have to get it off the store shelves, not that the food is bad. So yesterday we distributed a pickup load from Walmart that would have gotten thrown away, and 2 pallets from the grocery store. So if not, that would go, and Bird City, Food Bank is working on the same things. Is how do we help them be healthier? Because then they're on Medicaid. So we're paying for their health insurance on the back end, and they really want to have different options. They just are stuck. We don't have a lot of options to go to school, or better themselves or get a better job. I mean, we're just this is where we're at in where we live rurally. So how do we help them thrive? And many of them don't come chronically. Many of them come when they need it, and then they don't come for months and months. And so we have a very, I would call it, transient population that comes when they need it. So.
Norman, did you have
Yes,
some
I want to
input?
speak to that a little bit. I help off and on with the distribution. I think that right now they have it organized the best way that I've seen it. And we take people through and they have the shelves listed. You can have 1 can of this or 2 cans of this or whatever. And so people select the things that they will use, and then they're given meats, and then they're given vegetables and things out in the foyer there they set up. And to me it's very efficient right now, and kind of like Candy said, I had a friend last night that a month ago, or 2 months ago, needed help, and so I called him last night, see if he wanted to come. And I said, no, I said, I think I'm doing okay this month. But we are feeding a lot of people that do need it. We have some that take advantage of it, as always will be the case. But I think it's really doing well right now. It's a county service.
Well, we need to emphasize that we're not opposed to any of this. I mean, we support it wholeheartedly. It's just that
Right now, we're completely full.
Yeah,
We
our
don't have
space
any
is-
extra space.
our space is just,
And I understand that. I think for me a little bit, I wanted to take this opportunity and I asked the families to say, what would this look like if this went away? We usually say it's about $100 worth of food. Last night it was probably $150. I mean, we had so much stuff to get rid of last night that they went away, and that's $100 that can go towards gas. We have some in cancer treatment that are driving hours away. We have some that just are single parents and they can't make enough. So it's just a way to support them. And I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of elevate this population. It's about 10% of our county, that their needs are important too, and how just to kind of almost tell their story a little bit that says, I have 3 brand new families to our community who came and were like, how do I get a job? And I'm like, oh, I think this is, available, or that's available. We don't have a job list in our community. I've tried economic development. I don't get very far with that. Getting them plugged in. Now they're all working and they're all self-sufficient. And I called and said, I have lots extra. Can you come? Yeah, I don't really, I can use it, but I'm not going to come and volunteer myself to get it, because they are in 2 months working jobs in our community that is needed. And so a lot of times we're an intake point maybe for new families that when they come, there's a lot of expenses and it's hard to get a job here because you don't know what's available unless you go to individual stores or, I don't know how you know where the jobs are. So.
and you can realize we can't look into the future either. We don't know.
Yeah.
Really, and I think Candy and I had this conversation a couple weeks ago. She was going to come in and we were going to put this information forward, hoping that the newspaper would come up with an article that might spark some interest. But how can we help you? I mean, how can we help you along on this?
I really would like a list of some of the requests and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. They said, we had a family meeting last week and they said, you know what, we feel as the families, like if we went away, our community would they would be happier if we left, if we were not a part of their community, being from poverty or being Hispanic. And so to me, how do we draw them, to say, you know what, when you listen to their stories, it's really easy to judge and say if they stopped smoking, if they got rid of their animals, if they didn't make these decisions, then they would have enough money. But if you listen to their stories, it's like any one of us would be in that same situation because, whatever life circumstance, they don't always make the best decisions. Like Norman said, you're always going to have abuse and people that take advantage of it that don't necessarily need it. So for me, I just kind of wanted to a little bit tell their stories and that they have dignity and respect in our community because they're serving a lot of roles within our community. And I would like a job list online, either the county, the city. I've asked the city, Matt, with redoing the city website, or even sometimes they're working full-time and that's still not enough. And so they ask for part-time jobs or intermittent jobs, yard work, and now even some of my young boys, 10 to 12, are like, could I mow your yard? Could I do these little things that if they've lost their jobs or they're in between, they're willing to work, but getting them plugged in to get some money.
Why not like a social media type deal, like a Facebook or a Twitter in regards to finding jobs? And then that way get it out known to the community that if you have a job opening, go to this site, get it posted, and then you could be directing them to that site. Yeah. That could be administered by whomever in the community that was willing to do it. Yeah. And then that way, you wouldn't be relying on the county or the city. And
I don't know how to get all those jobs at one place that I could say, go to this,
That's up to the
media
employers.
place.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the Cheyenne County Post on the Street.
Yeah.
Something similar to that, but it would be, specific to Cheyenne County jobs. Someone you might want to talk to is Chelsea.
Yeah, and see.
She's the administrator of that and see how she did it.
Because then, if we had one, we could get on there and Cheyenne County has an opening for
Just add it on.
Right.
road and bridge or transportation. Or,
Matt is just recently going to update our website, the county's website. He'd be a good resource to talk to, too. Maybe we can just add it on.
Well, I did talk to him, but maybe I'll talk to him again.
Yeah, and seeing I don't know much about it, but...
Yeah. I think that would really help.
Yeah, I think, though, it needs to be an independent site just because of who may be wanting to post on there and the types of jobs that are being posted because we don't want to necessarily show that it's like commissioner supported.
Right. No.
We could just put a link on there maybe, too.
Right. You can put a link.
Well, and I built a Cheyenne County food pantry Facebook page, which I'm not very Facebooky at all. But with the purpose of if I have extra produce and someone calls and says the zucchini are crazy, I want to be able to put out a message and they come and pick stuff up is my goal. So I think that's a great idea. So thank you for that because I think that would really, communication sometimes is our greatest barrier. You have to do word of mouth. Well, they don't have any connections, or they're not in the same,
We just need to make sure these prospective employers know where to go. That's probably the most important thing now.
Right.
Is to get this website or whatever built and then let the employers know, hey, this is where you can advertise for your jobs.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great. It comes back a little bit to me for visioning to say we got to get these kids that are low income to go off to school because if not, they're gonna be working at the K-store and working minimum wage the rest of their lives, and then they're going to be coming to the food bank. So,
like a Facebook page, though, I think the initial setup is going to be the work, but after that, people just posting on there, that pretty much takes care of itself. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would help, particularly for our families that we're serving, just to be able to, that would help. I love you guys, but I don't need any money. I'm not coming for money. We're doing really well.
Even an elderly person can put on there, I need someone to do my yard work.
Right. And that helps because that's 20, okay, we have an extra phone bill or the electric bill comes due in March and they're all scrambling. And so with my job, then I'm trying to say, here's these resources. Here's LEAP. Here's, Harvest America. Here's these other resources that supposedly serve our county, but because they don't have an office here, nobody knows that they're available to help. So with my job through the hospital, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Here's supports, but how else can we get you to stand up and kind of tell your story a little bit, like, so to be advocates for themselves, you know. So anyway, thank you, appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.
as far as the space you have now, we have no plans for it. We're not asking you to vacate or anything like that. So
Yeah.
we'll just operate like we've been operating.
And if you want
And
more,
hopefully-
we can move more out of that tunnel or whatever you want to call that. If you want that space.
If you can,
I mean, we're a little sprawled because we had all that space. You know, we didn't really need it all. So Zona and I talked about it last night. We can certainly, you can have the whole tunnel if you want that, or we'll keep some of the shelves. You know, we just kind of keep our odd things or off-season things, you know.
well, for right at the particular moment, I think we're all right.
Okay.
But
And are we having
Thank you
any
for that.
other issues with access, with people going where they're not supposed to go?
I haven't heard any.
Okay, okay. Because we lined it so the big benches go around and the tables, so they really can't, unless they go under the table, they can, and someone is there to monitor.
Yeah.
So,
And we appreciate that. That's what we asked for several months ago, and
Yeah.
that works out good.
Okay.
Because I haven't had any complaints.
okay. Yeah, we just want to make sure, you know, be responsive to whatever you ask us. Because, and we don't have to be here, just if someone has other ideas.
If you
know.
keep a good line of communication with Shelley, Shelley's
Yeah,
on top of about everything in this building, so.
yeah, okay, all right. All right.
Okay.
Well, I did write you up a report, so you can,
All right.
this is for your reading afterwards.
All right, thank
Do
you.
you need that, Scott, or you want me to email it, or?
You can email it to me.
You want me to email
Yeah,
it?
you can
Okay.
do that.
Oh, thank you, Candy.
Thanks, Candy. Okay, Kelly, well, I think we're ready for you.
Scott. Morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Jerry, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, starting off with, what's the volume for July outpatients? We saw 2,639 for outpatient. We had 13 inpatients, 67 emergency room visits. Rural health clinics saw 535. Had 4 surgeries. Our specialty clinics saw 81. Our length of stay for acute was 3 days on the average. Average swing bed length of stay was 10.6. The acute average daily census was 1, and swing bed average daily census was 2.01. Also wanted to let you know that we did have a doctor in for an interview last week, and went very well, so we're just trying to kind of tie up a few things and get a package put together for an offer for him. So
Good,
that's
good.
that's where we're at with getting a doc here for right now. So
We're glad
that's
we're making progress there.
much closer than we've been in a long time. Now he holds multiple state licenses as well, so licensing won't be an issue at all with this man. So it looks pretty promising. So.
Good. Any other concerns or?
I think it's our slow time, and it's just it's a little bit of a money crunch right now. That's a concern, but I fully believe once we get the dock in place, we're going to be fine. So, infrastructure-wise, with our systems and our people that we have, we're pretty well set. So.
Good. Do you have quite a few job openings up there, or?
No, we don't. Not right now.
How do you post your openings?
We post them on our website, and Tabitha posts them on some job boards as well. So I think Facebook even will have a few if we have them available. So
Okay. I can't think of anything else.
all right. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for this report.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. Right.
Good morning, Ryan. Great.
So I need about 10 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel.
Did you say 15?
10.
You said 15.
You said 15, I'm pretty sure.
As a move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So we're going to take 15 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel.